So, good day everyone. Today, ang i-discuss natin ay all about respiratory and circulatory system. So, let's proceed. Our objectives. One is to explain how the respiratory and the circulatory systems work together. And number two, how one's lifestyle can affect the functioning of respiratory and circulatory system. So our bodies are like complex machines and depend on many different body systems in order to function properly. So today, ang focus po natin ay respiratory and circulatory system. But that doesn't mean, okay, na yung dalawa lang yun ang bumubuo sa body natin. May iba pa po tayong system tulad na lang ng digestive system and excretory system. But then again, ang focus po natin ay respiratory and circulatory. So let's start with the respiratory system. Do you know that each day we breathe about 20,000 times? Breathing is so important to life that it happens automatically. Of course, alam natin, we inhale and then we exhale. Okay? Part ng ating buhay. So breathing is the process that delivers oxygen to where it is needed in the body and removes carbon dioxide. Kapag nag-inhale tayo, ang pinapapasok natin sa katawan natin ay oxygen. Pero kapag nag-exhale tayo, magiging carbon dioxide na siya. Did you know that the air we breathe out has 100 times more carbon dioxide than the oxygen we breathe in? Imagine that. So, and what organ is in charge when it comes to breathing? Ano nga ba? Okay, ang part of our body na siyang nagtatrabaho pagdating sa breathing. So, if you guess your lungs, you are right. Your lungs make up one of the largest organs in your body, and they work in your respiratory systems to allow you to breathe. Now, let's proceed. And so air flows into your body through the nose or mouth and enters a specific pathway for air. Sabi dito, yung air daw or oxygen, pumapasok, of course, available siya sa environment ha, si air. Pumapasok siya through nose or mouth. Diba? At tayo nga, sabi natin, humihinga tayo sa pamamagitan ng ating ilong at ng ating bibig. So these pathways carry air into our lungs. So meaning, si nose and mouth ang nagpapapasok ng oxygen para pumunta kay lungs. Then this split up where they become smaller and smaller. In the end, the pathways are attached to small air sacs where the exchange of oxygen from the air for carbon dioxide occurs. So ibig po sabihin, pumasok si oxygen, okay? Dinala ni nose at ni mouth. What I mean is dumaan kay nose and mouth and then nagpunta kay lungs. And then throughout our body, mapupunta siya sa small air sacs kung saan mangyayari ang palitan from oxygen, magiging carbon dioxide na siya. Next. So parts and functions of respiratory system. So the human respiratory system is composed of the following: nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, lung, diaphragm, and bronchioles. Ano nga ba ang trabaho ng mga parts na to? Let's start with the nose and the mouth, also known as the nasal cavity. So the nose is what we normally use to inhale and exhale. Humihinga tayo, okay, sa pamamagitan ng ating ilong, inhale and exhale. And then, of course, alam naman natin, through mouth, we can also kumukuha din tayo ng oxygen sa tulong po ng mouth. So the nose has holes called nostrils through which air passes. The skin lining, both nostrils embedded with tiny hairs called cilia. Yung mga buhok po natin sa ilong, ang tawag po dyan ay cilia. Okay, ang trabaho po niyan, it acts like a filter to catch dust and other small particles in the air we breathe. Meaning po, tumutulong yung mga buhok na yan para ma-filter. Okay, yung maruming oxygen or air na papasok sana sa loob ng ating katawan, na pumapasok sa loob ng ating katawan. So the mouth is what we use to breathe when we need more air than what can we be taken in through the nostrils. Okay, so si mouth po, nagpapa-enter din siya ng oxygen. Okay, trabaho niya rin po yun. Kumbaga siya yung tumutulong sa nose natin kapag mas nangangailangan pa tayo ng oxygen o hindi sapat yung oxygen na nakukuha natin sa pamamagitan ng ating nose. Okay? Next. So the pharynx and larynx. So the pharynx is the opening just behind the nose and mouth and is part of both the respiratory and digestive systems. Both food and air pass through the pharynx. It is lined with tissues called tonsils, which can partially obstruct the passage of either of the two. Like when swallowing, respiration is interrupted. The pharynx ends in the esophagus and the larynx. So the larynx is also known as the voice box because it houses the vocal cords and the different muscles used in producing sounds. So the epiglottis, a cartilage found at the top of the larynx, aids in closing it tightly to prevent the passage of food or liquids. Next. So we also had the trachea and bronchi. So the trachea, also referred to as the windpipe, it is a tube through which respiratory gas transport takes place. It is lined with the ciliated cells to push particles out and cartilage rings to guard it against the pressure when breathing. So the end of the trachea is split into two tubes na kung tawagin po ay bronchi. So which also have several thin-walled branches na kung tawagin naman ay bronchioles. These bronchioles lead to air sacs called alveoli, where most of the gas exchange happens. Just like what I mentioned earlier. Si oxygen na pinapasok po ni nose and mouth, dadalhin kay lungs, then throughout the body, merong tinatawag na air sacs na kung tawagin nga ay alveoli, kung saan nangyayari yung pagko-convert natin ng oxygen to carbon dioxide. Next, of course, lungs. So the lungs are the most essential organ for the respiration. They consist of cluster of bronchioles and alveoli, blood vessels, and elastic tissue. The main function of lungs is to transfer oxygen into the bloodstream. Ibig sabihin po, si lungs yung nagdadala ng oxygen papunta sa ating blood o sa dugo natin, and to excrete carbon dioxide into the air. After the conversion, tutulong si lungs para mailabas natin yung carbon dioxide. Remember, si oxygen na-convert na kay carbon dioxide doon sa tinatawag nating alveoli. Next, mechanisms of breathing. As we all know, we are capable of inhalation and exhalation. Inhale is also called inspiration, and exhalation, also called as expiration, are the process by which the body takes in oxygen and expels carbon dioxide during breathing. Every time na tayo po ay nag-i-inhale, nagpapapasok tayo ng oxygen through nose and mouth. Exhalation po, after the conversion of oxygen into carbon dioxide, tulad ko na na-mention earlier, sa tulong na rin ni lungs, ilalabas o i-release po natin si carbon dioxide. One of the process na pag-release nga po nito is through exhalation. Okay? Hanggang dito na lamang po. Yung next video po, gagawin ko after nyo mapanood ito. Maraming salamat po.